for number 1, we want to do the integral of secant squared t cosine squared t dt. Now, unfortunately, when you have even powers, it doesn't really work to peel one off and then you use a u sub. So with even powers, what we're going to do is we are going to remember the half angle formulas, the fact that sine squared t is the same as a half minus a half cosine of 2t, and then we're going to, cosine squared t is a half plus a half cosine 2t, and then we're going to multiply that out. So let's see, half times a half would be a fourth. Actually, something nice happens here, right? You're going to have, you're going to get plus a fourth cosine of 2t, but then with the inside terms, you're going to get minus a fourth cosine of 2t, so those two are going to cancel. And then finally, you're going to get minus a fourth cosine squared of 2t dt. Okay, so these two are going to cancel here. So we end up with the integral of a fourth minus a fourth. Now we have to integrate, again, we have to integrate cosine squared to something. We're going to use the exact same formula, right, to rewrite cosine squared of 2t. Cosine squared of 2t is going to be a half plus a half cosine of 4t. Right, the way that formula works is that cosine squared of theta is always a half plus a half cosine of 2 theta. So if you have so first we had a t, it became a 2t. We did that identity again with a 2t and it became a 4t. Okay. Now we have the integral of a fourth minus, let's distribute that black a fourth. So we'd have minus an eighth cosine of 4t dt. Right here, a fourth minus an eighth would be an eighth. And now we can just integrate each piece. The integral of an eighth would be an eighth t. And then the integral of an eighth cosine of 4t, there is going to be a 1/4 that comes out. So this is going to end up being 1 over 32 sine of 4t plus c. Okay. All right, integral of tangent to the fifth. So what we're going to do with tangent to the fifth is we're going to split it up as tangent cubed times tangent squared. The nice thing about having a tangent squared in there is tangent squared is the same as secant squared minus 1. Okay. And then what we can do is we can take that tangent cubed and distribute it to both of those. That's going to give us two different terms, and so really two separate integrals. So what we'll have is we'll have the integral of tangent cubed secant squared x dx, and then just minus the integral of tangent cubed x dx. Okay. This one can easily be handled by letting u equal tangent x. Because if u is tangent x, then du would be secant squared x dx, and that works perfect. So that integral there is that's just going to be the integral of u cubed du, which can easily be done. The integral of tangent cubed, what do? Basically, we do the same thing. We split it up as tangent x times tangent squared x. I'm going to replace the tangent squared with secant squared minus 1 and split that up into two different integrals. that can both be done. Okay, so what do we got here? So here we're going to have u to the fourth over 4. The tangent squared here, we're going to replace that with secant squared x minus 1. Okay. With the u is tangent, so what we have tangent to the fourth x over 4. That's going to be part of the answer. Then we're going to distribute. Notice what's happening here. We're distributing a minus tangent x to each of those terms. So we're going to have a minus integral of tangent x secant squared x dx. And then minus tangent x times a minus 1 would give me plus the integral of tangent x dx. Now this integral here can be handled with the same u substitution. This is just u equals tangent x du equals secant squared x dx. And then the remaining integral here, the integral of tangent, that's just one that we memorized. That's the natural log of secant. So we're almost there. So we have a tangent to the fourth x over 4 minus the integral of u du plus the natural log of secant x plus c. The integral of u du would be u squared over 2. So we're going to get u squared over 2, which is tangent squared x over 2. So when it's all said and done, we have those three terms there. Okay, we got a tangent to the fourth x over 4 minus tangent squared x over 2 plus the natural log of secant x plus c.